Well, guys, today's the day. Deadpool and Wolverine, it's finally here. Yes, and it's obvious because for today's reactions to something CinemaSins, obviously reacting to something Marvel related, and of course having to do with Deadpool and Wolverine. And yep, you read the title, and it's obvious that doing this one, Logan. Yeah, everything wrong with Logan in 17 minutes or less. Yeah, because about Logan, well, because I, of course, done my review on Logan along with one of my good friends, Anchorman, if you want to go check out our review of Logan. Well, because at the time, Logan was, the last ever X-Men film, where Hugh Jackman would be Wolverine, in addition with, Sir Patrick Stewart, I should say, as Charles Xavier. Or so did this movie say that this would be the last time both of them would play their respectful roles, because what would come next for Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman? Although, not playing the exact same versions of Wolverine and Professor X in the X-Men films, but, still, they're still playing their characters, but not the ones that we had seen in the X-Men movies. Not those versions, okay? Because when, Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness happened, Patrick Stewart came back to play Charles Xavier, and as of now, with Deadpool and Wolverine, well, Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. Yeah. Also, another X-Men cast member to mention whom did come back, making an appearance, which being in one of the end credit scenes of The Marvels, Kelsey Grammer, once again reprising the role of Beast. I think, yeah, just voicing him, but yeah. So yeah, again, with Logan, because, what a masterpiece of an X-Men / Marvel / comic book film this turned out to be. It was fantastic. And, I remember, of course, when this came out, didn't get a chance to see this in theaters and such, but when I saw it later on digital and so on, yeah, just really enjoyed it. And at the time, very sad when this being, his last movie where he would be the title character, Logan, but of course, as we all know him, as Wolverine. But yeah, so, and you know what? And who knows? Hopefully CinemaSins, they'll have some positive things to say about Logan, I have no doubt. But at the same time, some things that they'll point out and sin on, yeah, because, again, never fails that in great movies like Logan, there's always going to be goofs and such. But at the same time, when it comes to the CinemaSins videos, the purpose being giving us laughs and our entertainment. That is the purpose of the CinemaSins videos, and that's all there is. But but still, you would of course agree at times, like, yeah, because when they point stuff out and they sin on it, you get my point. But anyways, so without further ado, we shall begin. Everything wrong with Logan in 17 minutes or less. 3, 2, 1, begin. Got a bit of water left.
45 seconds of logos. Even in a slightly apocalyptic future, can't Logan find better work than being a limo driver? It would have been much less action, but the movie right before this one about how he got to this point would sure be interesting. I know Logan is an old drunken shell of his former self, but under what circumstances
that's what he wanted to do.
I need to park my limo on the side of the road under all these super bright billboards and take a nap. Well, yes, he's old and busted now and weaker, but still, how many times do we need to see the random criminal outfit underestimates Wolverine's abilities and ends up dead because of it routine? You cannot put on a white shirt over fresh bloody wounds and expect to maintain said shirt's whiteness.
Hey, Clyde, it's 2029.
Thanks for the date certainty, futuristic talk radio buffoon. Pretty sure even when you're a limo driver, you're not supposed to get drunk in full view of the funeral party. Just saying. Also, I'm beginning to think it's not officially a comic book movie unless one of the heroes is brooding next to a cemetery at least one shot.
Wolverine, I knew it was you.
How did she know it was him? He did nothing Wolverine-like here.
Get the f*** away from me.
You recognize his face, right?
Wolverine will drop the F-bomb just because he can. In fact, it gets super distracting as this movie goes along.
some crazy lady.
How did this crazy lady know Logan took someone to a funeral today and where the cemetery was? This guy just knew Logan would be at this hospital today to pick up some drugs from his nurse dealer. A drug deal that apparently takes place out in the open. This guy's not a Terminator or Bucky Barnes, but he does have a metal hand you should feel ominous about, I guess.
And since the wheel lugs they found belonged to a 24 Chrysler.
Didn't Logan tell the gang trying to steal the hubcaps that...
Those are chrome-plated lugs. You gotta strip them. Plating flakes off.
basically meaning that they didn't succeed in removing any for the cops to find?
I'm not looking for you, Movie. Not really. I'm looking for someone who's looking for you.
How would this guy know Gabriella is looking for Wolverine? And if he knows that, how has he not found her yet? Also, he's looking for Laura because the company he works for needs to get her back and cover it up. But since all the other mutants escaped, isn't the kitty pryde out of the bag at this point? And don't they have the technology to create more mutants? Seems like a waste of resources to go find a child Wolverine when you could just make one in a lab. Kind of Logan to carry Professor X to his bed for some rest, and I'd be calmed by this imagery, if he wasn't also leaving the wheelchair so far away from the bed as to render Charles immobile until further human assistance arrives.
Logan.
Alright, even Professor X is saying, we are all having a good time.
There are no humans, understand?
We technically are.
More than 25 years.
That seems like the exact circumstances of the movie Children of Men, which made about 15% of what this movie made. Too bad Children of Men didn't have a Wolverine character, so more people could have seen it. That bad guy earlier in the limo straight up told Logan...
And
he
poor
knew about
Charles
his keeping
Xavier,
Professor X
because
down
what
here in
goes
Mexico.
on with
Logan
him.
promptly takes zero security precautions upon arriving here. Busted-ass Wolverine can't even get all his claws out without assistance, which I'm just now realizing is the most brutal ED joke ever. God damn. Some movie footage taken from the unaired Wolverine episode of the acclaimed show.
Completely
Intervention.
messed up.
Or the pus you're wiping away from your knuckles, or the blood I wash from your clothes, or the fresh wounds in your chest.
This guy started out like a genuine character who cares, but now I see he's just an exposition machine.
And we would see
At the
him
film's first script meeting, a producer asked, we have an
in
R rating, so what should
Apocalypse.
we do? Immediately, Tad jumped up and wrote boobs on the whiteboard, and everyone laughed. And then the laughing got violent and out of control, and everyone started high-fiving everyone else in the face, and everyone got bludgeoned to death.
He's smirking
Later,
a
the Jimmy
little.
John's guy arrived and noticed the dead bodies and the whiteboard, and finished writing this scene and the rest of the screenplay, and still delivered all his sandwiches on time. Look, guys,
not really
this article is
smirking,
f***ing
but
bullshit.
smiling. But
Take this.
Gabriella could have easily bought or rented a car that Pierce didn't recognize and made the North Dakota trip herself.
To be there Friday.
Or what?
Or we miss our chance to cross.
Because the Canadian border closes for weeks at a time and only takes illegal immigrants on an appointment basis. So Gabriella is dead, but what was it that finally led Pierce here? Did he go through the yellow pages and call every single motel asking about a mom and her daughter until he got the one where the manager was like, yes, I know who you're talking about. The little girls always fucking shit up in the parking lot. Murder them promptly, please. These guys killed
Quick
Gabriella, but
bleeping.
didn't search the room for her phone. What a bunch of fucking amateurs. Also, good thing Logan was curious.
You ever
about
notice
the
that the
house on
narrator
Friday.
is such a
Good thing
fast
Gabriella stuck it in a
talker?
drawer and knew Logan would go searching for it.
Impressive.
It contains the video evidence germane to the plot. When did Logan open up the trunk to his limo? He drove in, immediately started walking into the shelter, and then the trunk magically opened. I guess Laura could have done it somehow, but why open the trunk and immediately hide
Well,
him? Especially
'cause-
since we find out she's a ridiculously badass mini Wolverine. Also, she stowed away in his little trunk. Fine. He didn't hear her get in or anything on the long drive to Mexico. Fine. But a girl that age didn't need food or a restroom anywhere along the journey. Long after making the threat, villain guy finally shows up to Logan's cue ball compound in Mexico. And of course, he's in a black SUV.
What if he wakes up before I get there?
Now he's double unconscious at twice the recovery time.
She's not a mutant.
Yes, she is.
What's her gift, Charles? Eating? Pipe throwing?
This premature
And don't
questioning of Laura's
underestimate
powers is brought to you
Charles,
by
even though
some
he's
goodness of Kellogg's cornflakes.
not in a good
Also,
condition.
Jesus, he's known and been around her, what, 10 minutes? Why is he so certain she's not a mutant? As Charles previously declared dozens
Because
of other
Charles
children
can
to be the
sense and
ones
he can
predicting all they'd be
know.
wrong, thereby giving
Right?
Wolverine a reason for this instant doubt. Okay, a couple things.
Charles
here. There's just
knows.
no way this asshole, even if he was faking, could have gotten up, gotten to the truck, opened the door, and retrieved that gun this fast without being hurt. Also, and perhaps more importantly, this shot of the albino walking back to the truck proves these f***ing background trucks here are some utter and complete fictional bullshit unless they're traveling at 350 miles an hour. Also, Pierce's men just happened to show up right at the moment when Caliban threw his body out into the open, and just when Pierce regained consciousness. Fantastic timing. Why would you think I had enough to have this camera and monitor? But not
Timing!
anything further out from the property
Get
is
that
an early
reference?
warning device regarding unwanted visitors. Let's be clear, she's watching all this go down on the monitor, but doesn't stop eating her cereal and act until her own life is threatened. Yes, self-preservation is strong, especially with kids, but the way this plays out suggests she has zero heart and is fine munching on cornflakes while Wolverine gets the kicked out of him. And yeah, she saves the day here in a few minutes, but that doesn't make this moment any less cold-blooded. They're here to capture this girl, but do nothing for several seconds after she walks outside. I guess because she's carrying a head, but whatever. These guys are experts at missing.
Shooting! She heals!
Then why bring a whole bunch of gun-toting henchmen out here, then?
Yeah. And what's the
Pierce told this guy to
point?
stop shooting because she heals, but the director of the film wants this action scene to seem more exciting, so shoot him.
They're shooting those specific mutants that can heal.
Hey, girl, eat your heart out. These assholes don't shoot the tires.
Now,
For some reason, never
they
thought to
removed a
slap
couple
the tires in the
sins.
first place. Racing to beat a train to avoid capture and only barely making it cliche. Okay, so Logan found this phone in the motel room where Gabriella got murdered. But there are two things that bother me about him watching this video. First, the phone apparently has no auto lock, unless Gabriella went to her settings to prevent the auto lock. Second, even if she did set it this way, the battery life on the phone was at 57% when Logan found it, meaning it survived an entire trip to Mexico and countless more hours being constantly on. Third, what exactly told Logan to go back to her phone and find videos on it? This top-secret illegal research facility sure has no one monitoring to make sure employees don't videotape the harsh conditions inside. Here she is filming a secret green shot at so close an angle she's basically this facility's documentarian.
They're making
Well, because
But perhaps more importantly, they're letting me
I'd
film
say
wherever
'cause she
the
doesn't
goddamn
want
well please. It's
to
like
be
I'm diving here.
exposed
I don't
recording
know why I
with
was
a
trying to be
phone- with
stealthy
a
about it
phone.
earlier. Also, the movie steals the flashback from Captain America Civil War. Logan helping Charles P. is a scene I could have gone the rest of my life without seeing, and I'd have been happy.
He's good.
Not okay.
Hilarious moment, but still, nanoseconds away from this being filleted. This is basically comic timing ex machina here. Asshole
Yeah.
Gabriella decides that her documentary is more
it
important
was
than
still
saving this
a
kid's
hilarious
I
moment.
read about a place up north.
And on that vague statement, the entirety of this movie's plot will hinge. She read about it. Thank f***ing God it's actually real. She risked kids' lives on that. Also, did Gabriella have access to premium editing software? She's able to use the audio from her testimonial and lay it on top of all the other footage she's using. And she couldn't have had much time to do this since she recorded her testimonial in the motel room where she later died.
If you're watching this, it means that I am dead.
If you're watching this, it means I'm dead, cliche. Also, geez, wouldn't all this video evidence have made Logan more inclined to help her earlier?
What's wrong with
Maybe
this
decides you
dude?
can drive from Mexico to Oklahoma City without any U.S. cops noticing all the bullet holes and road rage damage to your car and pulling you over. Logan shows up in a limo full of bullet holes and
Yeah.
smashed glass, and a guy who looks a lot like Professor X is about to be wheeled through a casino and nobody freaking notices that reports it. If Professor X is being called a weapon of mass destruction, then certainly he's famous
I
enough
take
to
good
warrant some recognition.
guesses,
Christ,
like-
I knew he was a drunk, but they just f***ing got here, and he's already down that many bottles? This is a fucking huge hotel room.
Apparently.
Folks trying to lay low and simply get to Canada, they sure did splurge on the hotel room budget. After ridiculing these comics earlier today, Logan apparently still took some with him to get the car swapped, and thank holy Moses he did, since that's how he learns about Eden being fictional. These two rando villain thugs are so obvious, Logan spots them immediately, and I can't help but wonder if it was the all-black attire, the sunglasses, or the earpieces that gave them away. If they'd been dressed in Hawaiian shirts and khakis, would they have blended in? It's shocking how much Logan and Jason Bourne have in common, actually. If Charles is strong and imbalanced enough to cause this sort of thing, why is Logan the only individual just unfazed enough to walk and push elevator buttons and He's got healing powers and indestructible metal on his skeleton. He has zero mind powers whatsoever, though this movie is named after him, and perhaps that's enough. Hell yeah, this scene. And even though all that was caught on camera and they were super lots of stories up, they will still get
And this
out
movie
before
goes
some
all
sort of
out
invasion
with
of
the
Islam.
violence and how he kills his victims. Oh, good.
That's literally you with or without medication. This movie accurately predicts the near future of automated semi-trucks. But
Auto trucks.
sins by going
Language,
too far overboard to draw
Logan.
attention to it. Because some stupid auto truck decides to
And I'm
change
sorry,
lanes for no reason, this
Charles
movie finds a
sweared
20-minute detour
earlier.
where
Why is
Logan
he
and Drew
telling
are
on
essentially
Logan?
responsible for a chain of events leading to the killing of an innocent family.
We should help them. No, we have to keep going. Someone will come along.
Logan is totally right, of course, but ultimately decides that placing an innocent family in danger is okay, because it would be rude not to help them and go to their house for dinner and spend the night. Well, the government-funded hate squad does at least know how to find a good sunset to pose in front of.
You will find a motel.
Yeah, it's a good sunset. It's a good sunset shot.
According to the clock, it's 7:30. The nearest motel is 2 hours away, which means it will be the super late hour of 9:30 by the time they get there. So I totally agree with their decision to stay at this house, since anything past 9 leads to sleep deprivation and Mad Max Fury Road conditions.
You want some dessert?
2 days
Seems like a
ago,
goof.
Only one meal and hardly any sleep.
Charles convinces
Because of the
Logan to stay
clock.
at this house because of the lack of sleep. But why can't he and
And
Logan
honestly,
sleep in the
like,
car?
who would pay
Nate
attention
really
to a
loves horses.
clock in the
Drawing pictures of
background?
horses and generally all
Seriously.
things horse. In fact, this is an orgy of evidence that this kid loves him some horses. But don't pigeonhole him. He's really into deathcore bands and Abraham Lincoln, too. Evil Corporation, bent on creating children warriors, wasn't all bad. They took fun group photos and probably had pizza day sometimes. This entire scene unfortunately telegraphs that this person
Pizza
is really
day.
Logan. He's always too far
Pizza
to the edge of the
time.
screen or shrouded in shadow. And it's evil clone Logan, who looks very much like real Logan. So they could have been way less coy with shots like this if they wanted to fool us. Imagine if you saw Logan here with enough light to see features on his face, and you weren't triggered by the camera work that something was amiss, and then you see someone you legit think is Logan stab Charles? That would have ruled. Also, I'm wondering why the X-24 allows Charles to tell this entire story before killing it. He's got a flair for the dramatic, this unthinking killing machine.
This was, without a doubt, the most perfect night I've had in a very long time.
Aww, this moment almost makes me forget how stupid it was to stay here. The X-24, a ball of white-hot rage, decides against trying to kill his less evil twin. I was already bothered at how he basically ignored Logan, because he didn't ignore anyone else in this house thus far.
Yeah, and
why does he have to walk all slow like a Terminator? How is he not
and Logan
programmed
just
with any
let
tons of
his
essence
clone
software?
take
Is he trying to
Laura.
be menacing?
We gotta go around. That truck
It's not to say he would rescue her,
Flank
I'm just saying.
bombs. The ones that X-24 already killed, they're all dead, dude. Makes me think this shot was originally intended to come slightly earlier in the scene, before X-24 does all his carnage, but somehow ended up back here later in the scene where it doesn't
Richard
make
E.
any sense.
Grant.
Also, this gate allows this kind of arm access, and grenades just happen to be an arm's length away. Caliban gives sufficient warning to Pierce before blowing himself in this truck up. You know it's a Marvel movie.
Beware
when you
of
see
the
hero
light.
fighting
Yeah,
against a
that's what he
stronger
says.
bastardization of himself.
Gives them to taste their own medicine.
Okay, this film's action is brutal and excellent, worth a sin on. How the f-
Yes.
this guy's still alive?
Yes,
He was stabbed in the
absolutely,
chest and
as I
fell down
said.
some stairs. Bad guys once again leave Logan's lone mode of transportation completely intact before doing their evil Laura probably has the strength to carry Wolverine, and maybe has the ability to steal a truck. But how did she drive it? Did she use an umbrella and cane to reach the gas and brake pedals?
I don't know how you got me here back to.
Nah, she just drove it.
Thank you.
De nada.
I guess Laura's world is like
De
Star
nada.
Wars, where people speak two different languages to each other and understand everything.
It was a 2-day drive.
Wait, you were in Oklahoma City having come from Mexico. You traveled north from there, found the farm family you helped kill, then passed out the next day while driving, and the girl drove you to a tiny town doctor. So you're probably in Kansas, maybe even Nebraska. My point is that it's only a 2-day drive from North Dakota if you go by bicycle. Wow, his shoulder, neck, and back are all remarkably burn-free after this. Tap it. Jesus
He still
Christ.
got out of there.
Also, those numbers are on the manila envelope Laura showed Logan, and are even in the fucking Eden storyline comic book. If it's a secret location, how many places did they need to leave the numbers so Laura could find it? They basically wrote these numbers on everything Laura had in her possession. It's probably sewn in the inside of her sock and tattooed on her bicep. If they just left it in the comic book and sent that with Laura, then no evil people would have been able to stumble on the handwritten version on the photo to show up in the finale.
No comprende.
You are dead.
I'm wondering, was
You just speaking
the
Spanish in
robotic
this fight?
hand
I'm
like
guessing Laura's
sometimes
driving this
CG
car,
and
either
practical?
using the toys from Toy Story 2 or the
I
fish
wonder.
from Finding Dory. Dude, she just kept it steady for what looks like a couple hundred feet worth of cranking. And you say this just as the gurney reaches the top? Are you the resident asshole? Bet you have a fucking apple in your pocket right now. This movie suddenly got all hook on my ass. Bang-a-rang! They could have called this movie Logan. Logan Waking Up a Bunch. And while that's a title for marketing purposes, it would be an accurate one.
You had a nightmare.
Yeah, it was called Van Helsing.
You know what it is.
It's the adamantium bullet I intended to kill myself.
Yeah, we know
with.
how that
Which
turned
worked
out,
a nice
sadly.
little irony bow on this movie when it's used to kill my evil clone.
Let's not say that
X-24.
Hugh Jackman
Duh.
was terrible
People too.
in Van
This
Helsing.
little girl, she kills this role.
And him playing
She
the
saw
title
someone take
character.
off yet another sin. Okay, this is a cool shot.
Yes.
This is the first time in the entire
I
movie
agree.
the bad guys
And
have
she
used
was
her.
awesome.
Why wouldn't they have surveilled the
Good old
farmhouse
Daphne
by drone
King.
earlier? Or the original Mexican
King.
compound Logan called home? Also, why doesn't this drone look cooler? This is 2029, people. This looks like a drone from regular old 2016. What the fuck is that Scissoring. Also prank shaving. And said
Scissoring.
prank shaving was all just for this cheeky comic book nod of a facial hair look. When these kids were escaping
Yeah.
from Transigen, they either took Monopoly and Risk before they left, or they had time to go to a store and either buy or steal those games.
That happens to people I care about.
Maybe it's true, but it's also the most overused trick for superheroes on film to push people away to create emotional conflict. So forgive me if I am unmoved. It's been a full day since that government drone flew over this compound, and that is just way too long. They should have attacked by lunchtime, but they're waiting until tomorrow for reasons unexplained. Cool, ominous drone shot, though, bro. Luckily, Logan woke up in time to see these drones, the convoy of bad guys, and the ability to insert himself into the finale. I like how after seeing the obviously evil drones, Logan still feels the need to use the tourist goggles to make sure the kids are actually in danger. I mean, how much rescue time did he lose with this Logan's run. Say, don't these kids have powers?
We need to reach them before they get to the border.
Okay, but why? Are there Canadian troops up there ready to bust a cap? The border seems pretty ceremonial in this society. And this is a remote North Dakotan mountain range where they are crossing, so I doubt there's any official
And the
border
kids, they
crossing
do use their
anyway. But even
powers,
if there
of
were,
course.
you have an army, and you have an X-24, and you're chasing state secrets about genetically modified super soldiers. Surely you would just keep chasing them into Canada until you or they were dead, right? You make the border sound like a force field. These guys stopped to watch the dirt levitation show instead of just shooting this chick. Logan movie finally gives Wolverine fans
Yeah, her
something like
power's
they wanted
just
for 8
flinging
movies,
that
Berserker
stuff
mode,
at
and
them.
it's fucking
God.
awesome. This WWE
Yeah,
wannabe soldier
there we
guy
go.
somehow found that green liquid Logan took earlier. He had the foresight to think, gee, maybe a super mutant is chasing us from behind, leaving backpacks and evidence in his wake on his way to killing us all. I should go investigate what's way behind where everyone else in this movie currently is. Sure, they have Laura surrounded, but why haven't they figured out a better way to contain her yet? They're still pointing guns at her, which they know don't work, and they still haven't figured out some sort of super strong, silly putty kind of bullshit that keeps the Hulk and the Flash at bay.
The goal was not to end mutant kind, but to control it.
Xander decides it's time to monologue because that's how these assholes always end up dying.
Sometimes.
I will never get tired of her kicking ass and screaming. Never. Kind of wish I knew what all these kids.
There we go
before
again.
they
Just,
got to this
yeah.
point. I guess somebody
Nice
else
on
had
removing
full
the
plans,
sins.
and I guess they're called Arborman or Arborman or something. This kid is using some sort of force field or blurry power, and the others appear to be doing stuff that we never learn about.
And he rightfully so got what he deserved.
That looks
Getting
great and all,
slowly but
anyone who knows anything about
slowly
X-24 is
killed
going
by
to
the
know
young
that this is fucking
mutants.
worthless. Can't these kids surround X-24 and use their undefined powers to kill him? So this is a touching moment, and the movie could be praised
But
for
what
actually killing big
happens,
characters during it.
yeah.
But as much as
He's
I
still
love Lord
defeated.
turning his cross to make it look like an X, couldn't they have taken him across the border and buried him in Canada, his place of birth? I mean, the guy gets buried 500 feet away from his home country, and I'm supposed to be moved? You dragged him into a stolen truck, Laura. You have the ability.
Well, 113 sins.
Leave me alone with that f***ing albino. He doesn't listen to me.
You're gonna give me the keys to your car and some money for gas, or you're gonna wake up in the hospital. Trust me, I know how these things play out.
Oh, because you're from the future.
No, because of these. You're gonna have a big vegetable patch.
What was that from?
We're gonna have a rabbit
Oh,
patch.
Days of Future Past.
And down in the flat, we'll have a little
think,
bit
yeah.
of alfalfa for the rabbit.
What's this gonna be?
Swing away, Meryl.
Signs.
Meryl. Swing away.
And he did swing.
It's an Indian Air Force drone. Solar cells can power an entire farm. Take a wheel, Tom.
Language, Logan.
Language.
Oh, yeah, this muted for copyrights. Yeah. Understandable, and thank you, Cinema Sins.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
She got me on the counter. Wasn't me.
Wow. Okay, yeah, so the audio outtake / after credits of the Everything Wrong with Logan, yeah, pretty funny. I got some of them. I'm pretty sure the very first one, I think that was from Days of Future Past, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, the one from Signs, I got that. I'm sure some of you did too. Swing away, just, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was Everything Wrong with Logan in 17 minutes or less. Not bad. Not bad at all. And especially, I'm glad to see that with the amount of sins that they removed, and yeah, because they can't deny how awesome Logan is, and some great and freaking awesome moments and such. Yeah. And, like I said, because one thing that I brought up, and, well, because I technically called it, because, they brought it up, and they removed a couple of sins, how Logan goes all with the violence, and how Logan, he kills the victims and the bad guys, just really seeing the violence and just, yeah. It's also nice to see that they did not talk about some certain scenes that were very emotional, like the part where Logan, he helps Charles after he got, stabbed by the Logan clone, and Logan and so emotional, an emotional moment where, he's saying to Charles, it wasn't me, and also when Charles sadly dies, and, well, because Logan was planning to have Charles tag along with him to be out on a boat, and, yeah, and also Logan's death. Good thing that they didn't say anything about that, because, yeah, Logan dying, just, and, well, the last words that Logan would say, so this is what it feels like he was feeling it, just, Ugh, yeah. Again, good thing they had nothing to say about that, because that of course being another powerful moment. But they had to say something, and because of after Logan was buried, and well, they could have buried him at his where he was born, Canada, yeah. But I could take many good guesses as to why that didn't happen, okay? Because you really think they would carry around Logan's body all the way to Canada? Just, you get what I'm saying, yeah. And some stuff they pointed out, and, you heard what I said, and, things that could be better explained, and how I see it, and just, yeah. And again, as I pointed out, because I never pointed this out before. How, because if you ever notice, the CinemaSins narrator can talk fast, and yeah, and the laughs that the narrator had, and yeah, even another moment when a chunk of sins were removed, praising Daphne Keene's performance as Laura. Yes, because she was fantastic, and great to see her again in Deadpool and Wolverine. Just, yeah. And I could go on, talking more about what CinemaSins had to say about Logan, but I really can't think of anything else. And I think for what I've had to say after reacting to this, not bad, not bad. So, yeah. So, overall, everything wrong with Logan in 17 minutes or less, not bad. I'm glad to see with, the sins that they removed, and yeah, because it's obvious that CinemaSins cannot deny Logan is a comic book movie masterpiece. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. 100%. And I'm sure you guys would agree, too. And yeah, so again, the CinemaSins video of them covering / sinning Logan, yeah, pretty good, funny, entertaining, and again, that being the purpose of the CinemaSins videos. And what about you guys? What did you think of the CinemaSins video itself, what they had to say / sin on Logan in 17 minutes or less? Anything you agree and disagree with, and with what I've had to say? Did you have any good laughs watching this video? And, for those of you that have seen Logan itself, just, yeah, what do you think of the film itself? And, got some good laughs, and just those moments where you're like, oh god, because of the violence, and, teary-eyed, and, yeah, and also the audio outtakes, because, they never disappoint, when doing the audio outtakes / after credits of their videos. And with what I've had to say on the video, my reaction, and yeah, what did you think of my reaction? Leave comments and give this reaction video a like, as always. And so, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to the CinemaSins video of everything wrong with Logan in 17 minutes or less. More reaction videos are on the way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / reaction. Take care, and peace out. X-Men Unite!